Okay. I want to bring in Florida Congressman Byron Donalds with me this morning. I thought Obama had a lot of clout in the black community, but he got a lot of pushback from that podcast host. Doesn't he have clout in the black community?
Some, but the truth is that it's waning, and that's because Democrat policy has not only been disastrous for America, it's been disastrous for black families and black people across America. Stu, when the price of food is massively up well over 20%, the price of fixing your used car is up over 50%. When massive illegal immigration, which Barack Obama supports, which Kamala Harris wants, which Joe Biden did, when it's devastating communities in every state in our country, black people are looking at that as well and saying, this is nuts. Why would we do this to ourselves? We need a change. And because Kamala Harris can't even answer a question, I mean, last night was a debacle. And because Barack Obama's running out there just basically saying, just vote for her because she's black, black people are saying, nah, dude, I'm thinking about my pocketbook. I'm thinking about my children. I'm thinking about the future of America. That's why he's getting pushback.
You may have seen this, Congressman. Lawrence Jones from Fox. He visited a barber shop in Atlanta. He asked the people there what the #1 issue is facing black Americans right now. Here's what he had to say.
The #1 issue I'd say facing black America is the trust of Washington, D.C. The inflation is crazy high right now. Interest rates are up. And we just don't believe what's in office right now is going to support us another 4 years. Kamala hasn't presented a plan yet on what she's going to do. All she's talked about is what she's going to give people. It don't matter if you give these people $25,000. They're not going to buy a house. They're not going to do it. Everybody wants something for free. You know, that's what the Democrats think. If we give you something, you'll vote for us. I don't need a handout. I need an opportunity.
That's very interesting. I don't need a handout. I need opportunity. What is Trump's appeal to black voters?
When he was president, the economy worked. People were making more money. Prices were stable. That's the general appeal. You add on top of that, the border was secured and we weren't getting into unnecessary wars and conflicts. That's the other appeal. Last piece is Donald Trump, whether you like the tweets or not, he was direct in what he was going to do, and he actually did it. There's comfort in that. So when people are comparing Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, they're comparing the last 2 presidential administrations. And without a doubt, Donald Trump had a better presidential administration. That's what you're hearing across the country. That's what you're hearing, no matter the demographic groups. More and more people are supporting Donald Trump. That's why he's going to win in 12 days.
You're in Pennsylvania campaigning for Trump. Why do you think he can turn that state red? What's the main issue that you're dwelling on in Pennsylvania?
Oh, man, it's energy, it's immigration, and it is our economy. The issue set really, Stu, is not changing no matter what state you're in. All the issue sets are the same. And so when you're on the ground, whether it's black voters in Philadelphia, where I've been, or steel workers out in Western Pennsylvania, where I've been, they're talking about the same thing. And the solution for what ails America is the 47th presidency of Donald Trump.
Wrapping it up nicely, Byron Donalds, Congressman. We appreciate you being here. Always. See you again real soon. Thanks.